So today we are going to look into the structure of our history paper. So you are going to do, there are 4 papers in this syllabus, but the paper 3 and 4 are optional. Like paper 1 and 2 are compulsory. You have to do them whether you like it or not. Then paper 3 and 4, we have to make a choice of which here at A+, we choose paper 4. So let it be known to you. So the paper structure, right? The paper structure. So like I said, we are going to do paper 1, 2, and what? And 4, right? So today we are going to look into the structure of paper 1. How the paper is like, right? So that you won't be lost. And I usually say, whenever a candidate always familiarize with the question paper, then failure will never happen. Paper all the time. Failure will never happen. So our paper 1 is made up of what we call structured questions. It is made up of what we call what? Structured questions. Right. So as it has structured questions, what is the instruction here? We have like, so I'm going to choose one question for you, and I'm going to guide you on how to write its points. Then you are going to do an assignment which you are going to submit on what? On Monday. So this paper is made up of section A and section B. So in section A you have to answer what? 2 questions. Then in section B you answer what? 1 question. In section B there are what we call depth studies. Yelena, what is your understanding of a depth study? The word depth is from the word what? The word depth is from the word deep. So when we talk of depth studies, what are we really referring to?
It just means you're looking into something at a deeper level.
Excellent. It's like, it's a topic that we are going to study further. So one of those topics that we are going to study further is the what? The World War, right? Is the one that we are doing. So we are going to thoroughly do the World War, right from the start, like what we did, the causes, the cause, and the results, right? Then we also have to consider, after the World War, we also have to consider Germany, right? Yes, we have to consider what? Germany. Germany includes what? Hitler. So that's our 2 choices for depth studies, right? So depth studies found in what? In the section B. But at the same time, once you have depth of something, it means you be able to understand it. You are able to understand it at a basic level, especially how it demands you to answer in this section A, which you are going to look into today. So I'm doing all this so that you can be guided again, so that you can also know what we'll be doing, right? So so we have number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this paper is about 18 questions, but we have to answer what? So it's 2 questions, section A, then 1 question, section B, which translates to what? To 3 questions, which translates to 60 marks, because each question carries what? It carries what? 20 marks, right? So in this paper, the questions are partitioned into 3 parts. Are you getting the? And each and every part is a way in which you are supposed to answer. Right. Whenever you're answering, like I always say, you have to be accurate in your approach. So we are going to address the aspect of what? Of accuracy. Every sentence that you are going to write and every point that you are going to write must shoot the question straight away. You know, examiners mark a lot of papers, so they don't have the time. They actually don't have the time to read History hard. But whenever you're answering, you have to be straight to the point. So I give you an example of what we are doing, and it also help others who watch some of this stuff online. Right. So in the years before 1914, relations, so we are doing number 4 because we did World War. So let us all go to number 4. Right? Yes. So in the year before 1914, relations between European powers grew increasingly tense. Troy, can you read 4A for us?
What were the aims of the Triple Alliance?
Read again.
What were the aims of the Triple Alliance?
What were the aims of the Triple Alliance? Claire, what is the question demanding us to write?
It just wants the aims of the Triple Alliance.
Simple. Are you getting what I'm saying? And don't forget the mark allocation. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Don't forget the mark allocation. This question has a weight of 4 marks, which means you have to answer what? Accordingly. So, how many aims are we going to raise here? How many aims? Simple. Take note of the key part of the word. Yes. So what were the aims of the word? Of the Triple Alliance? So you already have the preconceived knowledge of the Triple Alliance. Which countries were involved in the Triple Alliance? Which countries made up the Triple Alliance? Yelena?
Triple Alliance, there was Germany, Austria, Hungary,
And Italy.
and Italy.
Okay, you have to tell me. I'm making you wake after that. Right. So it involved what?
Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy.
Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Right. It involved Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy. Right? So we are just going to look into the terms. Those are the aims, right? The terms of the Triple Alliance, like we did in the notes. The terms of the Triple Alliance are also the what? Are also the aims of the Triple Alliance. So if you'd like to write it in a small paragraph, make sure that each and every point is giving us what? An aim. And in this context, the aim is the what? What were the aims? It encouraged friendship between what? Germany, Austria, and Italy. Remember, Italy had joined because she wanted to side with the enemies of what? Of France. That's why she joined. It was an extension of the dual alliance, isn't it? So each of the 3 countries promised mutual support if there was an attack by any other great power. Refer to the notes. Right. The terms of the what? The terms of the Triple Alliance are the aims of the Triple Alliance. Part A is done and dusted. Do you have any question on that? So we are going to raise what? 4 what? 4 aims. Right. B. Why was there a naval race between Britain and Germany? Why was there a naval race between Britain and Germany? Smart. What are we going to look into here?
We are going to look into why was there a naval race between Britain and Germany.
So what are we giving here? What are we giving? Is it continuing well?
Yes.
Okay. What are we giving here? Whenever you see the word why in English language, what are you being asked to give? Yes. Reasons. So we are going to look at the reasons why there was a naval race between Britain and Germany. This simply means that each and every point should be a what? A reason. Could why Britain and Germany had been a naval race? True to why Britain and Germany had been a naval race? That's what we want. Simple. So there are plenty of reasons. Because we already have a situation whereby Britain was the mistress of the sea, right? Britain was leading in the seas. She was the best in the seas. So Germany got into the naval race with Britain because one of the reasons is she wanted to challenge Britain, right? Yes. Yes. And both countries wanted to dominate the world. They wanted to show to the world that I'm better than Germany. Germany also wanted to show to the world that she's better than what? Than Britain. But the bottom line of the answer here is to give us about 6 reasons, 6 well-explained reasons why there was this naval race between Britain and Germany. And remember, there is a jargon for each area. We want to hear about the dreadnoughts, right? We want to hear about the British Royal Navy. It shows that you have knowledge of the topic. And whenever you're answering history questions, you have to include the names of the people, figures involved. You have to include the names of the ships involved, like the dreadnought. You are showing the examiner, or you are showing the man who is marking that you know what you are doing. You're on top of the situation. I always tell students whenever you're doing English language that whenever you're answering, don't assume that the one who is marking knows. Treat them like a novice. I know this subject very well. I have never failed history from form 1 time. I have never failed history from my form 1 time. But whenever you're answering for me, please, treat me like I've never gone to school and studied history. Like I said, I studied history when I was form 4. Like A is all over. A level, I have an A in history. I know this subject in and out. I studied history at university level too. So this is one of my best subjects. I'm not saying so in a way of like, I'm trying to be boastful or bragging. No, I'm trying to stress the point that even if you think that I know, don't write like, I already know the information. You get what I'm saying? Usasiri. Treat me like ndangofukunurwa kubva makuwa ndobva ndatouya handina chandikuziva kuti itongorunyorera mwana abva uzvapo urubata zvakuta asi unoziya kana chii. That's how examiners want to be convinced. We want to hear about the language of that area. Are you getting the sense? We want to hear about the German naval navy law. We want to hear about the dreadnoughts, that jargon, the language, the diction, which makes up that topic. So we are going to give us the reasons why there was a naval race between Britain and what? And Germany. Then part C. Austria was responsible for the outbreak of war in 1940. Right? How far do you agree with this statement? Explain your answer. So it's a 10-mark question in which you are supposed to balance, right? It's a quote and it has to show 2 sides. So part A, part B, part C, you can write into small paragraphs, but make sure that each sentence, because my sentences, they make up the paragraph. So, but ensure that each sentence is answering the what? The question. It's like a question, can I have my reasons? Each sentence, a reason. Those are not going 6 months, 6 months reasons. Are straightforward. And a flesh, and answer question. Unofana kunyora zvekuti virido for a history. Munhu anoita chemistry asinatomboziva history zvekudaro akangoerenga chete anokwanisa kutowana tumahinzi. Urikubata zvekutaura. Zvinofana kuva historical. Your information must not be generalized. It must be pregnant with historical what? Data. Right. So Austria was responsible for the outbreak of the World War. So we are looking at what Austria did, right, to cause the World War. Are you getting the sense? And I think in my announcement, one a party. So you look at what Austria did, how she reacted to the assassination. Austria sending the ultimatum, you know, everything which Austria did. Austria the blank check, being involved in the Balkan affairs, the Bosnian crisis of October 1908, the Sarajevo incident, how she was poking her nose into the what? Into the Balkan issues, right? But this is a two-sided question, right? Yes. So you agree with the view in question, whether to a greater extent or to a lesser extent. So if you be saying Austria was responsible for causing the World War to a greater extent, it means you are raising more points on that side, right? Yes. But what is important on the part C, whether it is ZIMSEC or Cambridge, is to show the both sides, right? You also have to say, however, other countries were involved. Kune nyika dziri were involved. For example, Britain yakadai. Kune Germany ndo yakatangwa nayo. Haungonyori uchingoti, however, Germany also contributed to the war. Britain also contributed. No. In history, we raise points and support with evidence. Germany also contributed to the war because she is the one who started the alliance system which divided Europe into two hostile camps. Are you getting the sense? You raise a point and support it. So I think if you understood what I'm teaching, go and work on it over the weekend.